What's up? So, the stream tonight, or the video rather, because this is for a video on the gear that I use. Get a lot of questions about what I run and how I run it, and so this video is essentially intended to run through those things. So if you're on the chat, sorry, I probably won't chat much. But if you have the opportunity, make sure you hit the follow button, hit subscribe if you're on YouTube, and yeah. Hopefully, if you have questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll try to respond to them. A quick note: all the gear that I use is written if you're on YouTube, or if you went to YouTube and went to the Acoustic Looper channel, you could find all the gear that I use in the description. There are affiliate links to that gear. It means I get a little piece if you happen to buy any of those pieces of gear through that list. So if you're thinking about buying it, maybe use one of those links. And if you are on YouTube and watching this, be sure to head over to the Twitch channel. It's just Acoustic Looper with a K, Akoustic Looper, and follow me there. So let's get into it. I'll show you what I got, and hopefully if you got questions, you can ask me. I've been looping with multi-instruments since probably about, 2003, 2002, 2003. I was given the opportunity to demo the Boss RC20 when it came out, which was the first unit. I'll give you a quick look at that on here, if I can find the overhead. Turn on all the lights so you can see stuff a little bit better, but that's that unit right there. Is an RC20. It's just a 2-button loop station. It has one bank, and then you can actually, you can overdub onto that bank. It also has 11 ports that you can house various sounds or save sounds, so you can play them back later. So I started with that particular unit, actually, that exact unit. I helped demo it at the time. I was working at a music store, and was given the opportunity to do that and give some feedback through Boss. And right away I liked it just for a jam tool, something to be able to, just throw something down and record over, noodle over it, solo over it, or do what have you. I then saw, soon thereafter, I saw a guy by the name of Keller Williams, and he was looping. And what he did is more or less what I do now. He was using a Lexicon Jam Band when I first saw him. However, at that point, I ended up, I still had this unit, but one of the things that he did that I liked, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? One of the things that I liked that he did is that he was able to put his instruments through a sound board or a sound mixer, and then take those instruments individually, EQ them, and then use them as audio sends to be able to go through to different pieces or to different banks in his looper. And so that's ultimately what I did with this piece. So to give you a rundown of what all the pieces of gear are, ultimately I use a variety of inputs that I put through the sound mixer. I use a Mackie 1604. You can't see it on the overhead, but it's right in front of me here. I rarely touch that because I have everything set in that, and then it just goes through that. So from there, what I can do is I can EQ each piece and then send it to the looper, or send it to the Motu, which I use as my sound interface to go out for streaming, or I'll use it for my monitor mix. I can also send to either one of the 2 loop stations. I'll get into that in a minute, but ultimately everything goes through that. And so if we look at that and go from left to right, The first channel that I have is actually this vocal mic that I'm using right now. I use the SM7B Shure. I use that through a cloud lifter, which reduces the noise. And then that goes into an AB switch. So if you're looking on the floor, if you look on the overhead here, there's this switch right here, and that's an AB switch. The reason I use the AB switch is that I put one of the vocals, if I want the vocal to go to the looper, it's on one side. If I hit that switch, I still have vocals, but if I'm adding something into the loop station, it bypasses. So the A channel goes to track 1, the B channel goes to track 9. Track 9's EQ'd the exact same way, it just doesn't aux send it to the loop station. And so because of that, as I start to layer things, I can play a part on the guitar or the keyboard while singing, while recording the part on the guitar or the keyboard without getting the vocals. So it allows me to add some layers and some more depth as I'm actually singing a song, and doing it kind of incognito. So that the Shure microphone goes through that AB switch, but it also goes through, if you look down here again, I have a TC Helicon Harmony Singer, and basically what that does is I can pick a variety of harmonies. I like to use like a choral setting like this, so that when I sing, now it's doubled up. And I'll use that for a variety of things. Choruses, backgrounds, you know, if you want to throw down a quick background vocal, that's an excellent tool for that. It also does other harmonies, but I usually keep it here. That one's basically like a fifth that's super, you know, it's super close. And I like that. I like that one. I then also go to, let's see if we can adjust this mic or this camera just a little bit to get over here. If we go to the overhead again, you'll see underneath the keyboard, there's this little unit here. That's actually a Zoom V3 vocal processor. And so I'll use that unit for a variety of vocal plates. So this is a unison plate. There's
this, which I'll use for a scat. I can
use it for a variety of things. I can also use it as a harmony. Hey, 1, 2, hey, hey, 1, 2. And I can get a variety of vocal effects to stack up. And all of those I can loop at the same time too. The last effect that I put on my vocal is actually, I do it in a fairly unique way so I can punch in and out of it. And what I do is that on that first vocal track through the soundboard, I have a pedal that I got from my buddy Jack, who's here on the chat, but many moons ago. It's an Ibanez delay pedal. It's meant to be a guitar delay pedal, but what I do is I insert that as an insert into track 1, and when I hit that, I can get delay on the fly. So I can say something like, hey, how you doing? Doing, and it gets it, and it gets it, and it gets it, and it gets it, and it gets it. And I can also turn it off right on the fly too. So it gives me a nice way as I'm playing to add a cool vocal effect. It also adds an excellent way to layer sounds, playing the kazoo through it, playing some percussion instruments, and just getting some really cool tonality. I should also say this too. In that insert loop, I have the other pedal that I use for vocals is this little volume pedal right here. So it's called a V-Express volume pedal. And the reason that I use that is I can turn down the vocals if I want to, or I can turn them completely off. And one of the reasons that I do that, sorry for the liquid, one of the reasons that I do that is that if I'm playing multiple instruments at the same time, I don't necessarily want the mic to pick it up and put it through the looper. Also, if I'm playing percussive instruments right next to the mic, I may want it to be down a little bit. And so I typically have something in my hand. By utilizing that volume pedal, I'm able to control the mic volume to how I want it. And so you'll catch me sometimes on the stream, I'll go to sing and I'll forget to turn the mic back on because I was laying down a loop or doing something and it's just not on. So, so that's, for the most part, that is the vocal setup. The next track that I have is my guitar track, and we'll go through that chain, I guess, right now. I play a DC-18 Retro Martin. It's this guy here. Absolutely love this guitar. There's no bells and whistles to it except it's an excellent made instrument. Sounds great. There's no cutaway on it. I'm used to playing. I had a Taylor Big Baby for a very long time that I used to teach on and just got used to that type of feel. This is a great instrument. It sounds really good. It's got, the Fishman Active. All of the controls are hidden within the guitar. So you rarely see me hit a control because it's usually preset in here, but I also have a volume pedal on the floor down here, which I'll turn on and I'll run through what I have on the floor so you can get an idea of the chain of events that we have here. So my foot's on the volume pedal right now. Any of the guitar that you're hearing right now is just through the microphone. So I go into the volume pedal. I have a Dan Electro Tuna Meld. It's a tremolo pedal, gives you this sound. Love that. It was like a $30 pedal when I bought it like 15 years ago, but I absolutely love the tremolo on it. Just sounds good. Probably my favorite pedal in the whole wide world is next on the chain, and that's my Phase 90. I usually set it right to 12 o'clock. You can set it up if you want a little bit more, but I rarely touch it. The thing that I love about that pedal is that the knob on it, you can literally hit with your foot and move it around. And it's just a simple metal stomp box. The next pedal that I have in line is my POG. It's a Dan Electro. It's an Electro Harmonics POG, and that's ultimately my octave pedal. So it shoots it a couple octaves down. And when I use that pedal, that gives me my bass sound. So the nice part about that pedal is, I tried a couple different things. I tried using a bass. What I don't like about that is you have to pick up a bass and put it down and pick up the guitar and put it down. This way I can very fluently go put down a guitar part or put down a drum part, go right into the bass, go literally hit this pedal and go right into guitar instantaneously. It also sounds wonderful. I tried to split it with like an AB box and things like that, and to be honest, it wasn't worth trying to hit a bunch of pedals. Like the sound quality that I was looking for, especially when you're popping it on a loop, is not. It's indiscernible in my opinion. So, well, what kind of guitar do you play? I'm going to keep moving. Tell me what kind of guitar you play. And it's really what type of music do you play if you were going to pick an amp, in my honest opinion. Anyway, the next thing that goes through this chain of events is it's the POG pedal, which is my octave pedal, and then that's on the top of the pedal board here. I go into a Fishman preamp, and this thing is money. It has compression on it. It's got a variety of effects, reverb, delay, chorus, flanger. There is a tremolo on it. There's a 3-band EQ on it, and I usually keep it just on that. And if you're playing an acoustic, are you trying to stream with it? Because if you're trying to play it, well, either way, it depends where you're playing. If you're playing somewhere where you have a sound guy, I would highly recommend getting this Fishman preamp. I went through a bunch of different preamps. This one's absolutely wonderful. It acts as a DI box, so this takes me into the soundboard, and I have no other amp. I literally just use in-ear monitors from the soundboard. So I go through that. I have it EQ'd a certain way. I never touch it. Really, I use it for the reverb plate that it has on it, which is on it right now. Nothing crazy. You can hear just a little bit. Here's the reverb off. Here's it on. And then I use a lot of flanger. So this is the flange. And then I also use the chorus on that. I have the compressor on a little bit. The other thing that I like about this box is that there's a boost on it. So I can play, if I'm soloing, hit that boost. Gives you just enough boost to get over the top. I also have the volume pedal over here on my foot right there, where I can do swells. Or I usually keep it right off all the way, so that if I do have a situation where I need a little bit more boost, I can just hit it up all the way. But often, if you're streaming, I would highly consider just getting that box and going right into your interface from that box. And then you could plug headphones into the interface to do a headphone out, and bypass the whole soundboard. If you were looping, you could take the Fishman preamp, that brown box right there, and go right into your looper, and then send the looper out to your into your interface. You could do that. So that's the guitar channel that I use. Pretty basic setup. I do have one other unit that I use, and that's on the floor over here. That's the M5 by Line 6. It's a stomp box modeler. Say that 5 times fast. What that does is it's essentially like 100 different stomp boxes from like the Univibe, wah pedals, things like that, delay units, some amp modeling, and things like that are all in that unit. My next grab is to probably get a MIDI controller for that, so that I can set up and hit a bunch of different presets without having to reach down and change it. But right now, the way that I have it set up, like it's on a wah pedal right now. So if I turn that on, I have the wah right there. And then if you look over here to my right, over here, right down on the floor here, whoop, I have an expression pedal. There's also peanuts down there, but don't worry about those. So that's I could demo that all day, because there's so many different